So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the WoT Pro League Season 2. We've had some ups and downs so far already in the season, but I assure you we have some phenomenal games today with some of the best teams going. But alongside me as ever is the one and only Ollie, or Laughter WoT, if you really want to admit that. And we do have a special guest back in the studio who's been missing a little while, but we'll give you a little bit more information on her later. I might have given away a bit too much. But still, let's have a little look back on the season so far, because we've had some phenomenal games, as I said, and well, I think you're one of the people who can probably take us through this, because there have been some real standout moments for me already, but what really kind of sticks out to you that you've seen so far?
Right, well, I think first of all we've got to talk a bit about WoT Pro. It's a team which ended second last season, but 21 wins, 22 wins to 1 loss. Towards the end of season 1. This season, they aren't looking so strong. I mean, they're winning the games, fair enough. Okay, they got 6 wins to 0 loss, but they've had a couple of ups and down moments. You know, 3-2 last week to, well, this week, but last match day to Krasnokru, going 2-0 down and then coming back 3-2. Quite luckily, I actually watched the replays and I thought, well, you know, that was pretty shaky from them. Also against eSuba, one of the teams we'll be seeing today, going 3-2 in the second match day. I think though they can be a little bit confident because now they've got through that hard part of having the new players. You know, they did have a lot of new players. Karitz, their new team captain, Just Cause in there as well, Rest in Peace as well, all from New Star. So now they've got past the the blues, the beginning season blues. I think we're going to see them get stronger throughout. As for other standout performances, you know, other maybe a little bit shaky starts. mousesports is another one.
Definitely.
You know, 2-0 down in the first 2 match days. Who expected that? Out of the season 1 third place finisher.
It's crazy. You look back on season 1 and it's like, well, these guys look acceptable. They've had some great runs. You know, obviously I think Dragonborn's had another very strong run, and this season, you know, they've barely shown up yet. It's been a crazy bit of time, to be fair. And guys, make sure you check that out on the website as well, because the standings so far are ridiculous. I kid you not. But let's have a little look at the games today anyway, as we've had a little look back. But let's look into what we have coming up for you now. And I think we actually have the games up on your screen. So take us through these 2 teams here, because, you know, title alone is enough, but obviously take us through the lineups here. Right,
it's Polish versus Czech. We've got mousesports versus eSuba. Butcher's probably the standout player from mousesports, not because, you know, he's a new player, but because he's such a great player as well. Great AMX 5100 player, great IS3 player, one of the oldest players. You know, and he was in at 1SPV Zawisza last season. Obviously, they got relegated and replaced by GF Gaming, one of the teams we'll see later. And then on the side of eSuba, we've got Voodoo's, who's going to be their team captain. Also Twixo, he's pretty good as well. We've got quite a few good players in there. Mirage is another standout player from there. Their teams. It's going to be, in terms of skill, quite an even match. But in terms of you know, gameplay, in terms of synergy, it's going to be, I think, mousesports' game.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. As you said, the results so far have been hard to read. You know, we've had slow starting teams. We've had a couple of teams who've gone, you know, straight in off the starting blocks. But anyway, I kind of want to hear what you guys at home think. And I know a certain woman who might be able to tell you exactly how to do that. So I think we need to introduce you or reintroduce you to someone who's been missing for the start of this season. Welcome back, Melly.
Okay, let's start again. It's so good to be back. Hi, guys. Yeah, welcome. And
we've missed you, Melly.
I missed you too.
I had to deal with Stephen.
I know, I heard about it. I'm so sorry for that.
Never again.
I feel really bad for letting you alone that long, to be honest.
I can't believe you did it to us.
I will figure out a way to make it up to you, but yeah, how you can get involved is pretty easy. In first place, over Twitter. Let's see what you guys are thinking about the upcoming matchups, and yeah, tweet me everything you like, and everything you maybe wanted to know from our expert and soon to be expert.
Already expert.
I heard,
these lies you tell.
I heard you train hard.
I've been trying, but this is a hard game. Seriously, like I was like, I'll give this a go. This will be set. Nope. I've got a document this thick now. I'm just like Wikipedia.
It's a pretty complex game. But every time I log on Twitter, I see you just, yeah, Pansy is playing WoT. Join me on my stream and everything.
Can't help myself.
It's pretty good. And yeah, well, the Twitter account is @WoT Pro League. Make sure joining. liking, following it, and don't miss anything what happens on the stream. I will keep you updated, even if you're not able to watch the stream. And our second part is Facebook, of course. It's the same name, so WoT Pro League. Come and join our Facebook network. I will put up votes in front of every matchup where you can give your predictions to let us know what the community is thinking. So I will put up that vote in a few minutes. And yeah, let's see what your predictions are.
Ooh, that's a good way to kind of pass back over to us there, because I want to know your predictions, because last match day, should I say, he was pretty good at this.
Surprisingly good, I think.
Yeah,
I think did I get every single one right?
I don't want to say that, but I think you did. I think he was pretty spot on. But as Melly said there, our lovely, actually rather glamorous assistant, do let us know your thoughts as well, because I don't want him to be right the whole time. But I think these guys aren't too far away from starting this, so they're getting themselves ready. But quickly, your thoughts on this one. Who's your money on?
Well, I think my money's on mousesports, and I hope that I'm going to be right, because if it goes like last week, then I think someone owes me quite a few beers. Mousesports...
Not sure who he's talking about.
No, mousesports a very good team, definitely in favour, because they have been playing for the last couple of days as well. They haven't been resting. Obviously, we've got a couple of other tournaments going on in the background, so they're ready to go, and they're a little bit practiced compared to eSuba. But looks like both teams have started tank picking already. This is Himmelsdorf, so we're not going to see something unusual. We're going to see our MX 5100s, which Ilian picks two of, two T1s from eSuba, and an IS3 and an AMX 5100 being picked by eSuba again. So two AMX 5100s to one AMX 5100 and an IS3. eSuba picking again a T69, actually, pretty common pick on Himmelsdorf these days, plus an AMX 5100. The last two picks, Ilian picking a T69 and eSuba replying with an AMX 5100. So that makes it three AMX 5100s, two IS3s, no, one IS3 even, and a T69 to eSuba. To mousesports is two AMX 5100s, two IS3s, and two T1 Cunninghams.
Well, I think we're going to see a little bit of a difference, but it's not a great deal. I think it's more kind of team preference. And obviously, we did see that mousesports got off a little bit of a shaky start, but then they've kind of sorted themselves out here. So we just have to see how this one goes, really. It's going to be a close game, like you said.
disastrous for mousesports.
Well,
And they haven't really been that strong on Himmelsdorf, to be honest.
I've got to ask the question here. Do you think eSuba right now are lining up, almost waiting to receive? So they'll allow Voodoo to be spotted and maybe wait for the two, obviously, as you said, to come around and kind of support? Or do you think that's just a way they want to line up here? Because they've got a huge presence towards the east side of the map right now.
Yeah, well, I think they're just reacting to spots, you know, from their T1s. You know, they saw, okay, Ilionex is on the hill, T69. Let's just put our tanks there. It's not It's not a long drive. It won't take us a long time. If he pushes down, we'll catch him out and we'll destroy him. As simple as that. And I think that's pretty much their thinking at this point. Just reacting to mousesports' various movements and, you know, when they get spotted and such. But you know, I think they're playing very passively. This is quite interesting. We used to see this a lot back in the day. I think probably 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. I mean, I say back in the day, 6 months, a year ago, but that's what it's like for World of Tanks. It's so new, but we don't see that often anymore.
Yeah, indeed.
But I don't know. I think mousesports, they've got to be careful here because they're not a strong team on Himmelsdorf.
No, indeed. And eSuba have had a really shaky way through this, so they've almost got nothing to lose almost at this point. They want to make their point against someone like mousesports. They have to be desperately careful right now, and that's not the way they want to start things. Losing that T1 was the only kind of holding point or linchpin on that 1 and 2 line.
Yeah, great shot by Elian, straight across the map from pretty much one side of the other, the east side to the west side in that T69. So picking off Los Coscos in that T1. You're going to say that every time.
I am. It's his new name, but nevertheless, Voodoo has kind of started moving around here, obviously making the way just gently up the hill there, just trying to keep eyes on what's going on here, because obviously losing the presence has had to almost force their hand. So Shmuda has pushed up as well. Voodoo kind of draw the attention, and they're just trying to bait it out right now. They need to bring back some form of advantage. And obviously, we saw Voodoo there earlier, and now you can see Shmuda on your screen is literally almost picking up the mantle here, trying to get some sort of damage onto the opposition.
Indeed, indeed. We're now 6 minutes into the game, pretty much. A little over 6 minutes, in fact. Nothing happened, pretty much no damage. Only thing that's happened is that T1's gone down for mousesports, and it's gone into their favor so far. So they won't be able to spot the west side. So maybe we'll see mousesports push over to that west side, knowing that the T1's not there, not to spot it, knowing that the MX-5100 and the T1 and the T69 is towards the hill from eSuba. And that's exactly what we're seeing, actually. We're seeing mousesports start to push over to that west side.
Yeah, and I think Voodoo's kind of conned on to the idea that, wait, guys, we are leaving half of this map almost unspotted right now. So the T1 is actually sitting right in this middle section, and I'm used to seeing IS-3s down here. This is a bit of a strange bit of play coming out from eSuba. I haven't seen this yet. I haven't seen the positioning like this yet. And I think they're looking a little bit shaky now after losing kind of the linchpin of almost locking down half of this map.
Indeed. Well, we're seeing XP to push forwards in this T1 Cunningham. Voodoo's being spotted out by Carmen as he pushes straight across the... Well, yeah, he's pushing straight across the middle.
Yeah, indeed, and this could be trouble. Voodoo's having to back the hell out of there and hope that the IS-3 of, I believe it's Stenley, can actually help out if he needs it. But Stenley's still focusing on Banana. Maybe they're being caught out here because they're literally being cornered into that northeast corner of the map, and they have no presence anywhere else. I don't know how they're going to get out of this one if, obviously, your team do make their move.
Yeah, mousesports slowly pushing towards the cap. I think they'll want to be putting the T1 just in front of us here. It's a little inlet there. You can go without getting shot from any of these positions. You put one there, you defend it with a couple of tanks, and you just wait for the other team to push on you and hope that you can do the damage and not get your T1 killed. Snip being spotted there. His MX-5100 will have to be do the brunt of the damage, actually. eSuba's still pretty defensive at this point.
Yeah, extremely passive. And finally, they got a horribly rude awakening as Matchday will receive a shell to the face almost there as well. Mouse are making their move, and eSuba are completely out of position for this now.
Yeah, and now we're seeing the cap, 2 in the cap. In fact, 45 seconds left on the clock. It's no time at all. eSuba now have to do the move. It's not on mousesports' hands to win or lose. It's completely on eSuba's now. And this is your rock bottom tactic on Himmelsdorf.
And I like the play coming out from Mouse right now. They're locking the adaption and the rotation coming out. Shmuda and Gamba, they're trying to make their way across, and they're being absolutely dominated right now. The shells are connecting perfectly. And well, Mouse have read this perfectly at the moment.
Yeah, they've done brilliantly. Mad Snake taking a big shell from Carmen. Twixo's pushing around in his AMX-5100. Carmen's not too bad. He's bounced a couple of shots. Christoph will get taken out, so there goes their capping from eSuba, but the MX-5100's now in trouble.
Yeah, indeed. Just about everything for eSuba is in trouble right now. They're being taken down left, right, and center. They got cornered in. Mouse held the rotate, and this is exactly what's happening. The T1 can't do anything. The I3 is now, which is in Stanley's hands, obviously, is left to do a hell of a lot of work, which I just don't think he can do. He's trying to connect some shells. He's done a bit of damage here and there, but every time he's getting pushed back and pushed back. Even in that, you know, IS3, what can you do right now?
Not much at all, not against the likes of Butcher, their new heavy tank player from mousesports. He's going to push onto him, he's going to do the remainder of the damage, bouncing his first shell onto the IS3. Stanley's on 910, so it'll be 3 shells to take him down, going down to 570 now. Butcher will only need one more shot, and Puzzling will finally do the remainder of the damage. 1-0 mousesports.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think eSuba's game plan was completely dependent on Losoko there almost. You know, as soon as they lost that presence or that vision on the one line, they had nothing. They had absolutely nothing. They got cornered in. They couldn't push up the hill at all. They literally just got their book read right then. That's...
Indeed.
I don't know. I almost wanted a little bit more from eSuba. Then they started off with, you know, quite a gutsy strategy almost, but not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know why eSuba pushed so hard towards the hill. There was no need for that. I mean, I think they expected mousesports to rush off the hill with all their tanks and get completely, you know, and get completely good shots onto mousesports. And mousesports were like, no, we're not going to do that at all. You know, we're just going to do it. It's a win for mousesports. They won on tier points. I think they had like 24 more, I think, altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had quite a few more. I mean, look, that T1 left.
That's all that was left for eSuba. So clearly, I don't get that. I don't know why they invested everything so heavily straight off the bat. I kind of wanted them to kind of cover their bases. They literally went, okay, here's all my eggs. Let me just put it in one basket and see how this goes.
Yeah.
Not the best of starts there for eSuba, but we're going to have to find out if they can kind of pull them together almost for the next one now. So I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised. You know, these guys obviously haven't been performing up to par throughout this, really. But I wanted more from them. I wanted, you know, to kind of guns blazing almost, and it didn't seem to be there.
I mean, you've got to take the initiative. If you think you're a team that's struggling a little bit at the moment, you know, don't play like eSuba. Then just go forward, see what happens. You know, might get lucky. Push, take the initiative. That's what counts. Don't sit back. Don't try and turtle down and hope that they'll do a stupid push on you and you'll be able to catch them out, or Amarak a tank, or do some sort of miracle, turn water into wine or whatever. You know, you've got to push forwards. And I think eSuba needs to learn that lesson, because if they don't, you know, the 6-0 down, six match days down. They're not going to win anymore.
They've got to do something.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you've got to pull something, and I want them to do it. I love an underdog. I can't help myself. You know, I support West Ham. We've got to love losing, pretty much. So, but you know, I want these guys to do something here. And obviously, I think we're going to have Mines up next, unless I'm mistaken. Do you reckon they could maybe do something on this? I've seen some quite, you know, quick results on here, but then again, I haven't seen Mouse play this map. Do you reckon they'll be quite strong on this? The way they seemed fairly confident, they timed it right, they paced it right on the last map. I think that's going to play into their hands here, but I don't know, maybe eSuba could do something?
Well, it's Mouse's weakest map from Season 1, actually, so if they're going to do anything, they're going to do it here. But, you know, mousesports, they've improved so much since Season 1 in quite a lot of respects. Obviously, they went 2-0 down at the beginning, but that's because they had a new key player, and you know, we always see teams struggle at the beginning if they have a new key player. And I think they've been practicing a little bit on Mines. They did quite well at the DreamHack on Mines, and I think it's going to be hardest for eSuba to do anything. But if they do what I say and take the initiative, take it to mousesports, then they have a chance. Yeah, exactly. They have a chance. This is when they should do it. Tank picking has started. 2 T1s from both teams, actually. T69 AMX 3090 coming out from eSuba. And I think it's going to be about who takes the more T69, who's going to take the more AMX 3090s. But Elian from mousesports taking the same T69 and AMX 3090, actually. No team seems to be opting for the artillery. We saw WoT Pro actually starting to use the 2 T71s well. You know, we haven't seen that
that's very true.
yet. But they used them really well. They put them on the hill and they just baited the whole team up there, and it worked brilliantly. We'll see if they want to do this here. I don't think they will. They still have that option of having picked only 4 tanks so far. But we're just going to wait on mousesports to do their pick.
And the thing that I love so far is the fact that we're only seeing rank 7 against rank 11 right now between these two. So they're still fairly close as such. But there's such a disparity in the way they're playing. Even on Himmelsdorf, we're seeing such a kind of huge skill gap right now. So obviously, I want to see if they can kind of make it seem a little bit close here. And as you said, if eSuba are going to do it, it has to be on this map. Is there anything you reckon they could pull out? You know, a little bit of a curveball in here, you know, and really kind of offset them? Or do you think they're going to go very standard, very typical, and just kind of hope that they can outskill them, you know, player on player?
Well, I mean, it's going to be, it's a tricky call because, you know, teams, if they're going to do a tactic where they just sit back and just, you know, wait for the other teams, it's on Himmelsdorf. You know, that's where we saw that tactic first come about. I mean, obviously on Lakeville as well, but we don't have that in the map pool anymore, so that doesn't really count. But on Mines, we don't see that so often because, I mean, it's just impossible to win. You know, the other team's going to take the hill, they've got the higher ground, they're going to scout, they're going to take your tank out within the first 3 or 4 minutes, and suddenly you're on the back foot and you've got to do something. If you don't do anything, well, fair enough, you've lost the game, but this seems kind of impossible if you're a competitive person just to sit back and say, oh, you've won, let's wait for another 6 minutes until you've won again. You know, it's a hard thing. But we got tank picks continuing. Elian picking an AMX 1390 and a T69. Voodoo's replying from eSuba, AMX 1390. Elian picking the IS3. They picked 2 last match day, I think it was against either Dignitas or WoT Pro. It didn't work out for them, so they've obviously switched that down to 1. Which is, I think it's a decent tank actually on Mines. You can put it, you got the hull down armor of the IS3, obviously. It absorbs a lot of damage. You can put it on the hill and then push it down once you're pushing all your tanks around from the eastern village. Works quite well actually. So that's our tanks. We've got 2 AMX 1390s, an IS3, a T69 and 2 T1s from mousesports. From eSuba, we've got T69, an AMX 1390, actually 2 T69s, 2 AMX 1390s, 2 T1s as well in there. So pretty similar setups apart from the IS3.
Yeah, and obviously that just shows it comes down to player skill now. You know, tactics are obviously a little bit of a part in it, and you know, there's slight variations. But personally, what I've seen of mine since the update, it's very, you know, almost mirrored. There's no real standout tactics. We saw, you know, a bit of a curveball of a tank thrown in last time, but yeah, I feel this is going to really display where we're at right now, and I kind of want eSuba to, you know, get themselves back into this. These guys have come close, you know, 3-2 against WoT Pro, you know, 3-2, well, sorry, 2-3 against WoT Pro and 2-3 against Kazna Crew, but they've never quite been able to kind of secure it. So I want this to be the one they can do it, pretty much. I want them to kind of dig deep here.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see like them take the next 3 maps. I think if they're going to win, they're going to do it, you know, 3-2.
Yeah.
But you know, they just need to set it up, step it up here on Mines. So here we go, mousesports versus eSuba. Mousesports going 1-0 up against eSuba actually in the first game. Mousesports playing very well. They went offensive against eSuba from the get-go, and it paid off for them. As we've been talking about, eSuba should be a little bit more offensive now. They should take it to mousesports and see what they can do.
Yeah, let's see if eSuba can kind of buck the trend as such of how the game's been going so far. We do see Mad Snake make a bit of a mad dash, as per usual, straight down almost that middle, down that 4 and 5 line. The spots are coming out, and well, we just have to see who's going to be the one to really make it connect at the moment.
Indeed, Mad Snake being spotted by Butcher. Butcher had his turret turned the wrong way. He'll probably connect the first shell, actually. No, he's not. He's obviously not reloaded. It takes 40 seconds, my bad. Snip is there, supported by Carmen. We've also got Elian in the background in his IS3. Elian will pretty much be able to do whatever he wants, actually. So much armor, so much firepower, so much health. Connecting the first shell, actually, onto Mad Snake.
Wow.
Mad Snake going unbelievably low before being taken out by Puzzling in his AMX 1390. I mean, that's how you want to start on Mines.
That's one way to bring the game right to the opposition, and it's just not getting any better right now. Lasoko is being forced into action at the moment. A couple of shells are connecting, but I feel as though they're still on the back foot here.
Yeah, well, it looks like Voodoo's is joking that he's probably raged rage quitting at his team at the moment, raging at his team. But they're not out, they're not down and out at this point. Yeah, okay, they lost an AMX 3090, but they can still get back here. I mean, Snip took a bit of damage, a couple of shells. Carmen's down to 1,106. But, it's going to be real tricky for them.
Yeah, indeed. It's that early exchange. Obviously, we did see Stanley there just kind of covering off the amount of damage that could be caused, allowing a couple of tanks to actually back off and readjust and see if they can kind of contain the damage that was initially caused.
Yeah, indeed. Puzzling, pushing forwards in his AMX 3090. Butcher's there to his left. And now it'll be about mousesports' push. Will they want to take it to eSuba? Will they want to stay back? I don't think they will. I think they want the victory. I think they want it quick. And that's why we're seeing these two AMX 3090s push forwards onto the island. But they haven't gone all the way. They still want to play it a little bit cautiously. Schmoodler being spotted out in his T69.
Yeah, Stanley has got a glimpse of Butcher as well, while the rest of the team are splitting towards that 0 line. I think they could try and make a bit of a push here, leaving that linchpin right now as the T69 on that 4 line, hoping it can control the damage.
Yeah, indeed. We're seeing Peter, in fact, spotting out onto Christopher spotting onto Voodoo's in his AMX 3090 there. So now mousesports know where every single tank from eSuba is, and they're going to push up the hill having that knowledge. Yeah,
and Stanley is in trouble. He got an early connection there to, I believe it was Christopher or someone on those lines, but he's been pincered in. As you said, that far greater presence from them towards the middle and the island has just paid off.
Yeah, now we're seeing a couple of exchanges. Voodoo's taking down Christopher. Schmoodler replying with the kill onto Puzzling. But Snip in the IS-3 doing 440 damage to Schmoodler in his T69. It looks like eSuba have actually pushed towards the cap of mousesports. Butcher is going in to try and stop that, to try and mitigate anything they want to do in there.
Yeah, Lasoko and Voodoo now right by the cap circle, hoping that Schmoodler can contain anyone pushing around behind them. But he's in trouble himself, and now Butcher and Cameron are pretty much closing on these guys right now.
Yeah, indeed. Carmen's going to be the one doing the damage. He's going to go first. KKT, Gambo going down by Snip. Getting a couple of shots on. 864s left onto Voodoo's and Los Coscos in those AMX 3090s. Now we're seeing a push from mousesports.
Yeah, Voodoo's really bringing the action straight towards Cameron. Shell does connect, but now look at Lasoko in trouble, surrounded, and the HP is just not on their side right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like mousesports did a particularly good job. They made kind of a meal of it, in fact, losing Carmen quite spectacular in his T69. Schmoodler taking down Snip in his T69, and now it's a kind of chase. Los Coscos is left on 1 HP, AMX 39. Elian doing a beautiful moving shot with that IS-3, not an easy thing, regardless of the actually changes, taking out Los Coscos in his AMX 3090.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt, and obviously the base is being captured as we speak, and now Schmoodler is pretty much the only one standing. I almost thought he was going to be the protection for the other two who had pushed towards the flag, and he could do nothing from the position he was in.
Well, I think they did quite well, eSuba, because they lost that T69 at the beginning, and now look at the score. I mean, yeah, okay, mousesports have got an IS-3 left on full health, but look at Butch, he's down to 384 health, and I think that's quite a good play from him.
Yeah, I think they obviously they didn't throw this one away. They did a lot better than the first map, but I think the execution of some of the kind of pushes was a little bit sloppy there. As you said, they kind of made a bit of a meal of it, and Schmoodler has been caught. So it wasn't a great bit of play, but it was certainly improvement on the first map.
Yeah, at least they did something there. They pushed forwards. And we did say that if they did it properly, then they would win. Unfortunately, they lacked an execution a little bit, and they lost that T69 at the beginning. If they didn't lose that T69 at the beginning,
very different.
I think they would have won. I honestly do.
It was literally that middle section, initially they played quite passively, but they retained it. Yeah. And then losing that one player can be so key to this. They were able to completely and utterly corner in just about anyone else who's even close to it. Like, I think it was Stenley who was the other tank in that mid-section who just got completely and utterly pincered by 2 tanks, and he could do nothing.
Yeah, you need that extra support. I mean, if you lose a T69, you're probably losing about 1 to 2k damage, perhaps a little bit more, and that would have been, Butcher down as AMX 3090, and that would have been, Elian eventually down in his IS-3, because, as we know, the IS-3 is a good tank in conjunction with other tanks, but you've playing a lot. It's really hard to play when it's just on its own.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially at this level, they know exactly how to kind of bring the game towards that tank. You know,
Exactly.
they'll play against it, and that's the danger. Obviously, you do have your strengths and your weaknesses, but at this level, everyone knows them. They can read it like a book. So I think they're almost ready to get into picking, almost. But these guys, you know, at least they're going for it. I do like the way that, you know, eSuba actually did something there. As you said, they didn't just let the game come to them. They didn't, obviously, even after that initial mistake as such, or that initial kind of issue, they still tried it. You know, they still went for that push. Sadly, that little exchange wasn't ideal for them, but, you know, they went for it, and, you know, at least credit to them for trying that out. But I think we are going to be underway in the picking, so take us through this so far. What do you expect to see? As you said, it's Ensk. It's fairly standardized. Do you think there's going to be a curveball kind of thrown out here, or is this going to be very much your mirrored pick?
I think we could possibly, if we're lucky, see a 110. Perhaps the third AMX 3090 instead of a T69. I think that's going to be interesting to see if teams are going to start phasing out, you know, an extra T69 and start putting in the 110s and the AMX 5100s and stuff. But it's unlikely at this stage. I think we'll see that a bit later on, perhaps after 8.7. Two T1s being picked from both teams. Your standard pick at the beginning events, you know, you're not giving too much away there. Very important. We always say about talk about this tank on Ensk. You know, it completely shuts down whole areas of the map, specifically the green zone, stops any tank from going across there, stops any tank from you know, going into a place that, you know, where they could potentially cap and put pressure on the other team. Very, very, very important tank on every map, but specifically Ensk and Himmelsdorf. But I think we're going to see the first pick coming from mousesports, well, the second pick coming from mousesports, IS3, AMX 5100, or double AMX 5100, or double IS3. That was the other thing. So yeah, Elian picking double IS3s. I think we're going to see either a mirror from eSuba, or we're going to see an AMX 5100 and an IS3 being picked.
So what's the kind of bonuses and, you know, the kind of weaknesses going double IS3 or, as you said, 5100 IS3? What sort of kind of ups and downs do you get without going, you know, one way or the other?
Well, I think if you're going to go with the double IS3s, then you need to be playing a little bit more. You can play a little bit more offensively because it can take a lot more damage and stuff. But then if you're going to push and you have an extra AMX 5100, then it can pump out 1.8k damage, no problem at all. Plenty of penetration to do it. It's fast, it's maneuverable, we can get back to the base quickly, you can stop the capping and do all sorts of things. So yeah, okay, it won't take us quite as much damage, doesn't have quite as much alpha, but in an offensive situation, you want that damage. You want to be able to pump out that damage in a small amount of time. But we're seeing, yeah, Voodoo's picks an AMX 5100 and IS3. Elian from mousesports picking the 5100 and the T69 reply. And then eSuba picking T69 AMX 5100 as well. So mirrored pick apart from mousesports picking one extra IS3.
Yeah, so once again, we're going to have to see if eSuba can, you know, dig deep and bring something out here pretty much. It's all on them that I feel they have to kind of make the plays. Obviously, Mouse can kind of sit, you know, in this kind of relaxed kind of zone right now. Obviously, they are rank 7, you know, they're up there. They had a shaky start, but they kind of, you know, just kind of chilled it out, you know, beat Dragonborns, and that's kind of their turning point. And the pressure is on eSuba right now. Yeah,
it certainly is. I mean, they're 2-0 down right now. Himmelsdorf and the Mainz game's not going their way at all. Good game from them, from Mainz, pretty much. I mean, yeah, you know, they could have gone better in terms of execution, but, you know, they played decently. If they do it here, we could see them take a win, and we could see another map, our fourth map. But mousesports picking a third IS3, actually, quite unusual. We usually only see 2. And you remember, on Himmelsdorf, they only picked 2, so they're really showing that the maps are different, the city maps are different, you've got to pick different tanks for them, which is something we didn't see in Season 1. We just thought, okay, Ensk, same lineup as Himmelsdorf, which just shouldn't be the case at all.
Yeah, definitely.
eSuba picking an extra AMX 5100, so yeah, as I was saying, same lineups, but one team has one IS3 more, one team has one AMX 5100 more.
Gonna have to see which one pays off for them, I guess. Obviously, these guys, you know, run the strats through on practice. They, you know, they work them out. They see what works for them. Even just on a personal level, I can imagine, you know, where they feel more comfortable. And we're gonna have to see if it pays off, because I'd like to see, you know, one team, you know, really doing well. And obviously, I want to go for a couple more maps, but we're gonna have to see if they can kind of do it right now. eSuba have everything to play for, but you know, it's all on them to lose at this point as well.
Indeed, indeed. So going through the lineups quickly, 3 AMX 5100s, but we're here on Ensk. And welcome back. This is eSuba versus mousesports. mousesports 2-0 up, taking Himmelsdorf and Mainz quite well. They did well in those two games. If they can continue the momentum here, they'll do a nice 3-0 against eSuba, a team that's certainly shaky at the moment. They're not playing quite as well as they will want to. Let's see if this triple AMX5100 IS3 T69 lineup will work against that block of IS3s taken by mousesports, taking a total of 3, one AMX5100 and a T69 as well. Butcher opting for the IS3. Quite unusually, you would have thought you would have been Snip in the IS3 and perhaps him in the 5100, but obviously he doesn't feel he's as confident as Snip.
Yeah, eSuba could already be in trouble, being absolutely ravaged right now by puzzling there, literally hammering those shells into Schmuda, who's going to have to back away. eSuba put, once again, a massive presence in one area, but those IS3s, you know, they're so damn strong, and they're feeling that right now.
Indeed, that's exactly what you need to be doing with them, getting in that early, getting the high alpha damage rolls out. You know, your 390 damage from the BL9 does plenty for the low health HP pool, 1,400 of the AMX51. So obviously Schmudler down to 679 right now. So, you know, I think mousesports can take it to eSuba. They don't have to worry too much. Although Twixo on the right in his AMX5100 is got in a good position to take down at least puzzling in his AMX5100.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what Twixo can do here. He's literally surrounded by the opposition, but he's still in an okay place to kind of play a little bit, or at least, you know, play his hand out. But, you know, it's a nerve-wracking place to be in. He needs some assistance. I think the IS3 right now is pushing up, but it's certainly not kicking off in the right direction right now.
No, indeed. Schmuda down to 394 right there in his AMX5100. Carmen's ready to do the last and final shot, probably, unless he gets a little bit unlucky. He's pushing forwards. Nothing to worry about, okay? Voodoo's missing his shell, and now Carmen will be able to finish off Schmudler if he can get round. No, he doesn't. He's too slow. To the right, the AMX5100 will be there. Butcher's in trouble.
Yeah, indeed. Butcher is in a world of trouble, but still, you know, it's not working in eSuba for right now. The IS3 pushed up, trying to provide cover to allow Twixo to kind of maneuver out and maybe play their hand, but it's not looking great at the moment.
Not at all. Snip's pushing forward. Puzzling's there behind
Twixo.
him. Twixo's in big trouble. 365 on Snip, though, so he's got to get behind Puzzling. Puzzling now has the opportunity to push forward. There's time to shine. 429 onto Twixo. Twixo down to 11. Snip taking him out, but Stanley replying with a kill onto Snip. But, you know, mousesports have the advantage. They just need to push it.
Yeah, indeed. And I think Stanley then needs to kind of play out a little bit earlier. His team were in trouble. He pushed up. He didn't get the connection he wanted. And now look at the state of the eSuba side. Nice connection there onto Alien, though. Does get a nice shell, but still his teammates are falling left, right, and center. And I believe that was Voodoo actually going down. Oh, he was tracked for a second. And now 82 HP just in front of him. He needs to get that connection, and he does.
Yeah, indeed, nice play by Stanley in his IS3. Puzzling's coming up behind. He's going to creep onto him. Carmen's butt in trouble, though. 65 HP left. Stanley will probably have the reload next. Or did he actually bounce on it? I think he might. No, he didn't. He missed him, actually.
God.
Carmen getting away scot-free, unusually. And now Puzzling will be able to do the damage and finish him off. Such lucky play from Carmen.
Yeah, indeed. I think Stanley there, it just went completely wrong for him. There was no luck on his side, certainly. And literally, it's all on Los Cocos right now, and I don't see it working out.
And I think Los Cocos is going to just cry in his arms. I mean, there's nothing he can do. He's trying to cap, but we all know that he won't be able to do it. He will be able to take out Christopher, so nice play from him there, I guess, proving that he is the more cunning T1 Cunningham player. See what I did there? T1 Cunningham.
I got it. Okay, cool. I got it, sadly.
Just thought.
And
just
as puzzling as his puns may be, Puzzling is now moving in onto Los Cocos, who literally has no hope in hell against that. And there we have it. Another defining game. And sadly, eSuba just couldn't dig deep enough.
Indeed, eSuba getting completely ravaged 3-0 against mousesports. Unfortunately, making it their 7th loss on the trot. They've got to do something because they're going down, and it's every time they play, they seem to be playing worse and worse.
It felt disjointed to me. That was the problem. You know, the IS3 reaction, trying to help out their team, they kind of worked out where they were. The feelers went out early. They kind of spotted a couple of shells connected. It didn't go too badly. And when they needed Stanley to come up and kind of lay down the damage as they drew them forward into the open, it just didn't work. Yeah. And they got completely and utterly picked apart. Yeah,
I mean, it's not like they don't have the player skill, because we saw they played pretty well. They just need to work on coordination. I mean, I think the best thing they can do is just step back a minute and just think, okay, guys, we're really not performing up to mark. We need to we've got the players, we need to do something about it, and they need to spend like a week just training every day, or maybe even a week off.
Yeah.
And just not do any.
Yeah,
not,
exactly. Watch it back,
Yeah.
recuperate, try and come in fresh for the rest couple of games, because they've got to turn it around now, because it's almost slipping too far away.
Yeah.
But obviously that's our thoughts on the matter, and I do kind of want to find out what you guys have been thinking, what your predictions were for that game, because that was a pretty definite scoreline. So my prediction early on was a 3-2. I kind of had faith in eSuba, but you know, my predictions aside, he can shut up. Let's find out from the one who actually knows more about, you know, all of this prediction stuff than I do. Let's have a little listen to Melly.
I like how you told him to shut up. Great.
Wow.
Someone's got to, right?
Exactly. Well, the people at home were predicting a 3-1.
Okay, so it was like
So
in between us,
They
kind
were
of.
kind of closer, yeah. And yeah, the predictions of the vote were pretty clear for mousesports the whole time. With it started with 88% after the first map, and yeah, continued with something around 80. And so the community knows their stuff.
They know their stuff for sure. They know the teams, the tanks. They know it all. I'm catching up here. So you know, clearly I need to kind of be on that Facebook checking it out. Like, okay, that's what they're saying. Let me steal these predictions.
Great. And we have a question, a small one.
Go for it.
Time for that?
Yeah,
I'm
go for
glad
it.
you looked at Ollie then. I was like, nope.
I love how she just slowly looked
like-
to you and then looked at me. It's like,
I'll just like
She was
sink
like,
under
long-
there. It's like,
Okay,
no.
I'm
Melts
trying
into
to
the
avoid
chair.
that look.
All right.
It's an easy one. Not really. What's the most overpowered tank in the game? We heard that quite
Right.
often, that question, but
Okay.
what is your opinion on that?
I would say it's the Hetzer with the 105mm. I haven't really played it that much since 8.6, but it was so OP before then because you just one-shot everything. Like, you just troll through games. I think I had Top Gun for like 15 games in a row or something stupid like that. So yeah, if you want to have some fun just derping and annoying people, then get yourself a Hetzer, put some gold ammo in it, and just destroy everything. That's probably the most overpowered tank.
Okay, good. Yeah, the next vote will be up in a few minutes, and yeah, that's all. Join our Facebook network, WoT Pro League. Follow us on Twitter, and yeah, tweet me your opinion of the matchups and of the game, of everything. If you have questions, keep them coming, and I will get you your answers.
So guys, you heard it there from the lovely lady herself, how you guys can get involved. If you don't already know, we will be having Dignitas up against GF Game. We'll go into detail towards the lineups a little bit later. We're going to take a little break while they prepare themselves. Obviously, you know, Dignitas still have a lot to keep doing. You know, they won DreamHack. You know, they proved a lot of people wrong. These guys are truly capable, but it's not going to be a walk in the park. So we're just going to have to find out how this one pans out. But guys, we're going to go to a quick break to give you time to just, you know, get involved on Facebook, get involved on Twitter. You heard her, do it at home. But we'll be back in about 5 minutes as soon as these guys are ready to go with another game.
A state of trance.
The story continues on Titanium Recordings, the label of Sean Tyas. Neptune's Return by Darren Porter and Fairy Tale. You're tuned into hour number 2 of this week's State of Trance. Hope you're enjoying the tunes that I'm playing. Happy birthday to Chris Palacios, Atul Tegar from India, Aishan Safaoglu from Cyprus, Jonathan from WoW in South Africa, and happy birthday to Neno in Saudi Arabia from your sister Faith. And Kaminda Rezai for Alexander Bergau. It's his birthday today as well. Congratulations. Guys, we've got some massive stuff coming on. Global Experience remixed by Ali and Fila. The New Running Man and Koefdam and Plant. The Summer Dream remixed by Thomas Dat. And of course the classic, so stay tuned. But first, Ida Kaldi, Hope on Innovate Recordings.